Not you too, Max. My mother, she has been like this for the last 3 days. My mother, she can sense evil. But things weren't always like this. Almost 16 years ago, my mother and my father met at a carnival here in Blackwell. My mother knows how to interpret zodiac and tell people their past, present, and future. That night, my father had come to the carnival with his fiancée and visited my mother on her insistence. But even though they were soon to be married, when my father saw my mother, he felt something different. It was almost like love at first sight. Tell us about our future. When will we get married? My father's fiancée excitedly asked my mother all kinds of questions. But what she didn't know was that my mother truly had powers. And my mother knew she wasn't faithful to my father. She was simply using him and had no honest feelings for him. Has there been any loss of life in your life recently? No? My mom, dad, my brother, everyone's fine. Or maybe loss of life of an unborn? No. Rachel, are you all right? Is this true? Richard, I was about to tell you. What? What do you mean you were about to tell me? We're engaged. We're getting married. And you didn't tell me our child is... My father and his fiancée were expecting a child. So they had gotten engaged and planned to get married soon. But not only did his fiancée not tell him she miscarried the child, she lied. My father found out she had actually aborted the child and used his pregnancy to manipulate him to marry her. So he broke off the marriage. It was a low time for him, and it was one of those days. One night, he returned to meet my mother. I had a feeling you would come. Really? Then tell me, why am I here? I don't know. With all your powers, you couldn't figure how I felt about you? I guess certain things are above all powers. They both looked at each other and knew they had fallen in love with each other. My mother and father soon got married. They had a beautiful relationship. At first, my father was intrigued by my mother's strange lifestyle, her charms and her prayers. But soon, my father realized her superstitions weren't just superstitions. My mother strongly believed in spirits, and she maintained certain practices and rituals. The more my father got to see this side of my mother, the more he started to feel strange about it all. It was one of these days, my father and mother happened to meet one of his old friends at a party. When my father went to introduce my mother, she suddenly got scared of the man. Is everything all right? Richard, can we go home? What happened? Why did you get so scared seeing Jeffrey? When he spoke to me, I had a vision. I saw. My mother told my father she saw things that no one could. His friend was involved in dark things, in the wrong kinds of business. And although my father didn't know the details, he knew my mother might have been saying the truth, because Jeffrey had been involved with bad company. But how could anyone know so much? Marissa, you have to stop all this. It's affecting you. You'll never be able to live a normal life like this. My father had my mother stop her calculations, her rituals, charms, and practices. He had her move everything away. And with the start of this new life, things seemed to get better. My mother started living a normal life and their relationship got stronger. But 2 years later, when my mother got pregnant with me, she couldn't help but go back to her old ways. In her family, they believed those who were born under certain zodiac constellations were blessed with good, and those who were born on the other zodiac constellation were cursed with evil. She knew my father wouldn't believe any of this, but she had to know. So one night, while my father was asleep, she took out her zodiac calendar and calculated my birth. No. Marissa, what are you doing? You took these all out again? I thought you left that life. Richard, you have to believe me. Our child will be born on the last day of October, but she has to be born before midnight, or she'll be cursed. Marissa, stop all this. My father was upset seeing my mother's condition. She was panicked and distraught. But just as she said, it was on the last night of October, she suddenly went into labor. Richard, we need to go to the hospital right now. This child has to be born before midnight. All right, take it easy, let's go. It was around 10 when my father brought my mother to the hospital. But by then, my mother couldn't bear the pain. She kept telling my father, Richard, before midnight. Before midnight. It was 3 a.m. when my mother woke up. She had delivered me. Marissa, we have a daughter. Was she born before midnight? Yes, don't worry. She was born before midnight. Oh, thank goodness. My mother was relieved knowing everything had gone fine after all. And the years went by beautifully. I grew up in love and care. But it was when I turned 9 years old. One night, I experienced something unusual. I had become a woman. And it was soon after that, my mother began experiencing strange nightmares. No. Marissa, what happened? Richard, I'm sensing something evil has to happen. Something evil. What? Marissa, it was just a dream. Calm down. After all those years, my father began noticing my mother getting involved in all those things again. She was blessing the house, performing rituals, and constantly making her zodiac calculations. And it was one night, my father woke up to her speaking with someone by the window. She was speaking in a different language. He was horrified to see her eyes had become white. Marissa! Marissa, who are you talking to? Nothing. It's nothing, Richard. What do you mean, nothing? You have to stop doing all this. I can't stop, Richard. I can't. It's not in my power. I'm doing whatever I can to protect our family. You're not protecting us. You're only harming yourself and harming us. And if this is how it's going to be, then perhaps we shouldn't continue this relationship. My father and mother started to have arguments. The relationship got strained. And in all this, my father couldn't make my mother stop what she was doing. And things only got worse. My mother began having premonitions, visions, and sometimes she couldn't control herself. Here's your medicine. You're a fraud. You've been taking advantage of people's ignorance. This isn't medicine. What are you talking about, lady? Marissa, stop it. He's a fraud, Richard. He's a fraud. He's evil. When things got out of hand, my father couldn't take it anymore. My mother's strange habits weren't just limited to the house now, but others had started to know, started to talk about her. So one night, he decided to leave. Soon, I'll take you with me. And now it has been a week, and for the last 2 days, my mother's condition has worsened. My mother, she's always speaking to someone. Strange things have been happening in the house. It's always cold. It feels like it's not just me and my mother. Max had been scared for the past few days, and now he's no more. Hearing her mother scream, Mel rushed to her room to see her mother wrench in bed. Seeing her mother suffer, she couldn't take it. She had to do something. Mel, what happened? Everything's fine, Mom. Try to rest. You haven't slept in a week. It wasn't my mother. It was me, all along, who had been attracting the evil. My father lied to my mother that night. The night I was born, my mother's powers were weak because she had kept herself away from her rituals and charms. Otherwise, she would have known. I was born on an evil night. My wife, she's really superstitious. If she learns our child was born past midnight, I don't know what she might end up doing. It's just a matter of a few minutes. All right, we'll make it before midnight. Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting.